Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Thanks for being here. I hope that you're having a good morning wherever you are, and just to know that you're appreciated. I really do look forward to sharing with you every morning topics that are of interest to women in their 60s and even women younger than that. We have a lot of women who are younger in our community, and I welcome you all here. It's really, we're sisters, and we're sisters on this journey of living our lives the way that we want, with the passion and the purpose that we desire. And I'm really happy that we have younger people here, and it's actually going to be part of the conversation that we're going to have today. So I'm looking forward to that. But I wanted to share with you my drink today because it's something unique. I actually was given this as a gift, and I never used it because I just didn't know quite what it would be like. But it's a curcuma latte. So curcuma is turmeric, of course. But when I looked at the ingredients, there's ginger and cardamom, saffron, and some pepper, which you'd expect with turmeric because you're supposed to put those two things together. So here is my latte, turmeric latte. And it's actually very nice. I put it in my big old rainbow mug here, and it's bright yellow. And it's actually nice. I was tempted to put some lemon in there, but I wanted to just keep it sort of pure. So it's a curcuma latte, which is really wonderful. So hope you've got a drink or coffee or tea, juice, something exciting that you love to drink in the morning or evening if you're watching us then. But the topic I wanted to chat with you about today is about aging. Surprise, surprise. This is what we talk about here on 60 and Me sometimes. But it's more of how you can think yourself young again. Or can you? What is the relationship between our brain and our attitude to aging? And we wrote an article about this. I'll leave the link so that you can read the whole thing because it's actually very interesting. And there's some research linked that you might want to check out. There's a Dr. Ellen Langer, who is a Harvard professor of psychology and a designer of this study called the counterclockwise study. And it was really fascinating. What they did is they put older people in an environment that was reflecting what their lives were like 20 years ago. So they put them in an environment for 5 days where they just basically lived as if they were 20 years before. So the furniture, the TV shows, the decorations, the decor, everything was as it was 20 years before. And they just let people, live their lives in this kind of setting for 5 days. And what was really fascinating when they came up, this is, I think, men in their late 70s and 80s. So it was quite older people went into this environment. And what was really interesting when they came out is they measured, of course, before their strength and mobility and all their sort of vitals. And when they came out, they were stronger. The men looked younger. They moved with more mobility. And they actually did this study in a couple of other places. There was a UK TV program that duplicated this study and came out with exactly the same results, which is if you put people in a situation where their memory, where their brain thinks that they are 20 years younger, they will actually, in the real world, act and feel and have physical strength as if they were younger. Now, I'm actually a great believer in this because I do actually love being with younger people. And I spend time with younger people because I think they've got great ideas. As you know, I went on a nomad cruise this year with 250 people in their 20s and 30s, and I loved it. I want to go again. I mean, honestly, I learned so much from them and from myself about myself, and just hearing them talk about, their visions for the future, their grand ideas. I really, really enjoyed it. So for me, I've always enjoyed being with younger people. And so I do think I have a younger attitude to things. I do may have a tolerance for different fashion or for different ideas that some people don't have when they get a little older. They get more set in their ways. Anyway, the point is here that there is a mind and a body connection. That if we can convince our mind that we are young in our thoughts, our opinions, our habits, then our body will follow. We will have more strength, more vitality, more energy, and we will, in fact, feel like we're younger. And it's not even just an abstract; it's real. You really do feel like you can do more things, and your brain is that relationship between your brain and your body. So it's kind of a interesting loop, though, if you do it the other way around. Because if you keep thinking to yourself, I'm old, I can't do that, I'm too old to do this, I can't plan this anymore, your mind will think, yeah, you're old, and it will feed that loop back to your body. So you will feel tired and older and more, all the things you say you are, that you can't, don't have the energy to do this and whatever. And then, of course, when you feel that way, tired and not able to dream, you then will send that message to your brain. And it's like a vicious loop that your brain will then feed it back to you. So it's a really, really interesting study. So can we break the thoughts of aging and replace them with more positive, youthful thoughts? So the research says yes. And what it says is, for example, meditation. If you can meditate, and I do meditate almost every day now, and I have actually for 50 years, so I'm got a little bit of a passion for it. But you go into this state where you're not focusing on the future or the past, you're just staying in the present. You are just breathing through distractions and just being present. Find a quiet place and take deep breaths. You can just go in and out, breathing in, breathing out. And if you have a thought, you just say thinking thoughts, and then move on back to your breath. That's really what meditation is. I mean, I'm simplifying it unnecessarily. I suppose you all know what it is, but it's creating an affirmation in your mind that keeps you right where you are and keeps you feeling present and strong. And you can get this sense that I am resilient. I mean, I do find that with my meditation that it really helps me deal with day-to-day, challenges and stresses. We all have them, things that are on our minds, and concerns about, people and places and things. It's a crazy world. And I think my meditation does help me feel resilient and strong and able to deal with them, to package them somehow and put them away for a while. So that's one thing. Now, this whole idea, though, is building pathways in your brain, building new pathways in your brain. And your brain, I mean, up until now, there has been a lot of research on the brain saying that it doesn't renew itself as you get older. But that's now been proved not true, that your brain does keep regenerating and can create new pathways. And these new pathways are the behaviors that we were talking about that make you feel younger and more positive and stronger. So if you can train your brain to think that way, you will then be able to actualize that in your physical reality. It's really fascinating. So instead of saying I'm too old, instead of saying I'm too old, say I am young enough to do this. Just say I'm young enough to do this. Just say that out loud several times. And your brain will start generating energy and thoughts and make you actually feel like you can do it, that you're not too old to do whatever it is. So we can think ourselves young. I'm a great believer in that, and I whether it's true or not, I'm going to keep believing it. And young meaning not young like anti-aging young, like always looking young, because I'm certainly not that. But I'm feeling young, and that's what matters. And I'm telling my brain that every day. I am young enough to do this and young enough to do that. So, do you agree with this? Is this all interesting to you? Take a look at the article and take a look at the research. There's a link in the article to that. And tell us, do you believe that you are too old to do something? Is there anything that you feel you're too old to do? Leave your comment in the section below. Let's have a conversation about this. I'm really, really curious. Is there anything that you think you are too old to do? Okay, so I look forward to the conversation. Please leave your comments below. Thanks for being here and for listening to this chat. I hope it was useful. And tell us, is there anything that you feel too old to do? Take very good care, everyone. Have a super day, and we'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye-bye for now.